This show is about serious faith base, so please keep all negative and bashing comments out of our threads, and we hope you enjoy Proud to be Pagan. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Proud to be Pagan. I'm Erichai and you are standing, well I'm standing, you're watching the inside of Guy's Wisdom, our classroom, where everyone learns all the good fun little things about being a pagan. So that's the goal here, is you learn something as well from home. So today's lesson is on Book of Shadows. There are many ways to write your Book of Shadows out there, but I'm going to give you a few examples of how to start one. Now, I'll show you my first Book of Shadows. Really simple. It's just a composition book. And on the inside, I have the way you can read. It's all printed out. And that's the beauty of one of these things, is you can take things off the internet and post it in here. That is your, what we call semi-permanent. Alright? My suggestion though is to start with something small. This little tiny spiral-bound notebook. As you can see, spiral bound, you can tear pages out, which if you look here, I have done. These are all pages from my Book of Shadows. Now I can take them and put them in any order I want. As such. See, that clicking noise you're hearing is actually me disabling it from the tripod. But take a look at here, at the floor here. Now, I can take any of these pieces of paper here and arrange them in any way, shape, or form I like. So I want that to go before that one. Well, there I go. I've got everything, it's like little sticky notes in a brainstorming session. And that is why I suggest to start with one of these. So that way when you do want to go more permanent, spinning around now, back to the tripod. When you want to go more permanent, you have a basis to do so. There we are. Nice and cozy over there. Now, once you get that all established and you've got your spiral-bound notebook and you've got things torn out, then you can go to the composition notebook. But these are, like I said, they're semi-permanent. If you've ever had one of these, you'll notice it starts falling apart after about a year, opening and closing, and it does get a little damaged. So if you want to move up a little bit different, have a record book. But you get the same problem. After a while, it's going to start breaking down. My suggestion to everyone, once you've got your at least 20 pages established, alright, in a spiral-bound notebook, move to one of these. It is bound like a book. As I open it here, you can see pages are inside. It's blank. It can be parchment or it can be just white paper in a book. This is the plain book. If you want to go a little more fancy, I have one of these. Now, our students at Guy's Wisdom, when they enter their apprenticeship, they get one of these blank books. But like I said, you can go a little fancier. A little fry catcher there, even on the spine there. But that's how you can do it. Now we do have one ritual spell book. There's a difference between a Book of Shadows and a grimoire. Alright, a Book of Shadows is everything in compilation. It's all of your findings, it's spells and also rituals and things like that. But a grimoire is predominantly only spells and ritual castings. And I'll show you one of our grimoires here. This is Guy's Wisdom's grimoire. Very fancy little thing. It's clay. It's more permanent because it's, well, of course you have the paper. But the thing is, it's kind of spiral bound. It's got rope or twine or anything here on the spine. But this again is more of a permanent. Where you have semi-permanent and not permanent at all, you know, temporary, but just fancy. You can go as fancy as you want. But I wouldn't suggest anything in the permanent section, meaning anything that's spine-bound or anything that is bound with a string like that one. Those are your permanent ones. You don't want to go there until you've got everything established. Here is the suggestion you should run with. Is the first 5 pages should be your laws, your rules, how you're going to do your practice. If you're Wiccan, print out the entire Wiccan read and paste it in there. Or write it out if you like to, you know, get your own energy into it. You know? Where we got here? Get a quill, get some ink, and write out parchment. Now, after you've got your laws and everything else established, alright, that is when you start writing down observances and dreams. Now, if this is for Book of Shadows, right, grimoire is different, we'll go over that in a second. Your Book of Shadows, you're going to want, first of all, your laws and rules you're following. And then, observances. How have you noticed things move around within the elements? Write an entire page on the earth element, the air element, the fire element, the water element, and then move on to how it all encompasses itself. Again, you are Akasha, so obviously you're an element. You got to write about your findings. That's just another section. Alright? And of course, the third section would be rituals. Look at the Wheel of the Year. Alright? Let's detach. If we look at the Wheel of the Year here, I have it so conveniently on the wall. Whoop. Alright, you can see quite well every major Sabbath there. Alright, and at this time, this is the last week in July, so we're looking here. Lammas, August 1st, or July 31st, if you celebrate the eve of these holidays. Now, go through each one of those, research them, look them up, and get your own Wheel of the Year. That way, you can put them all down in any order you see fit. The biggest thing, though, is however you start is how you end. If you want to start on Samhain, the New Year, which will a lot of, well, I can't say a lot of Book of Shadows start at Yule. But you can do it any way you want. Just remember, it's your practice. Again, do it the way you want. Off my soapbox. Write down a ritual for each. Write down a spell for each. Write down observances from every ritual and spell you do for each. Basically, just write down everything you can about that Sabbath, and then move on. After Sabbaths, we have correspondences. Now, we went into a little bit of it when I was telling you about writing down all of your earth, air, fire, your element stuff. Your candles, colors, smells even. Anything you want to write down in there, it's up to you. It's your Book of Shadows. But I'm just giving you a little bit of a guideline. Alright? So we've got your laws, we've got your elements, we've got, let's see, what else? Laws, elements, observations, and then you've got the Wheel of the Year, rituals, and then correspondence. Just remember that. That's okay. Basics is first thing should always be your rules and laws. If you want to play everything else in another order, again, it's your Book of Shadows. Now, the secretive part. This is where it gets a little heavy. I showed you this here. This is our grimoire. A Book of Shadows can be secretive, or it can be public. Grimoire, always, always secretive. Only you or the group it's for, like this, only my group can read this. First of all, because it's mostly their spells. But spells are dangerous. And the only reason I say that is because in the wrong hands, a spell can be bad. They can twist and turn your words. It's your intent, or it's your group's intent. So if someone else gets a hold of that, they can manipulate that intent. And that's just bad for everybody. So remember, grimoire, secret. Book of Shadows, your choice. A lot of people keep Book of Shadows secret because it still contains some spells. But that is a secretive part. That's the occult part. That is your archive there, your spells, and your workings. So, hopefully you guys understand the difference between the Book of Shadows and a grimoire. Alright, so, thanks again for watching, and please tune in next time for the Fairy Realms. Have a great day.
Hey, I want to give a special thank you out to YouTube user Bitter Screams for suggesting the Book of Shadows episode and also suggesting the up-and-coming Fairy Realms episode. So just keep all of those things coming and you will see them soon on Proud to Be Pagan. So we really need your help because all this studying, I'm not getting anywhere, and it's all closing it. Guys, come on, I need some help. Help me!